Yo, welcome back to your channel. Today we are going to change out the manual transmission fluid. Um, this is what I'm going to go back to, the Honda manual transmission fluid. I've tried this in the S2000. It does a pretty decent job. I actually have Honda manual transmission in the fluid in the S2000 right now, and it shifts pretty good. This shifts pretty good too, but this I am currently running this in the Integra, and to be honest, for my car, it does not do good. I've grinded fifth gear 2 times, never ever grinded fifth gear in on first gear. Don't mind my mom screaming in the background. That's just how she talks, complaining about her chickens. But I literally just grinded first gear, and like this is not even like high revving. This is like normal. Like I can't shift like I normally shift in while the car is rolling in first gear. It'll grind, and I haven't ran this but maybe like 2,000-3,000 miles, so I'm changing it out, not dealing with it anymore. We'll see if it makes a difference or if it goes back to its shifting. I just can't deal with it anymore and don't want it to cause damage if it hasn't already. Hopefully not. So we are going back to this. All right, folks, here it is. Royal purple coming out. As you can see, it is purple. Not sure if the car is perfectly flat. I'm gonna drain as much as I can. Might jack the car around a little bit. Make sure I get all the fluids out. All right, y'all. So this is how I have the car set up. You want it even, you know, kind of ghetto, I guess you can call it, but you want the car level when you start filling it up so that it will fill properly. I'm actually gonna overfill it just a little bit just to make sure that I have it all in there, and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna do it. But unfortunately, I don't know where I placed the drain plug. I'm hoping it's in there somewhere. As you can see, it stopped draining. And one thing I will say, I've noticed that the royal purple is very thin, and we'll see how the OEM Honda fluid is, and it actually smells. And I think I've smelt this a couple times, like this burning oil smell. This is the pump I'm using. I bought this, like I keep on saying, 13, 12 years ago. I did when I first changed it out. So I'm pumped about half, maybe a quarter of this quart into there, just trying to flush things out. I'm gonna let it sit in there for a little bit. I'm gonna go through the gears real quick, make sure it lubricates it, and then I'm gonna drain it again. But yeah, I like this pump a lot better than I had this other one, the funnel, which didn't really work too well last time. And this transmission fluid seems a little more, what's the word, viscous, a little bit thicker. So hopefully it resolves the issue, because I really don't grind gears. So, and the transmission's been perfect transmission all through these years. All right, so here we are just working through the gears. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. So when the car's rolling, whether it's forward or not, like very low, maybe like not even 1 mile per hour, and I try to go into first, it will grind like like what the heck, and then go into gear. That's never ever happened before. So I'm assuming it's just fluids. And then when it grinds in fifth gear, it's like when I'm giving it heck, first gear, second gear, and I rev it out third gear, and I'll just go into fifth, which I do all the time. Maybe you're supposed to go to fourth and then to fifth, but I go to third and I'll go to fifth just to get it in the RPMs lower. It'll grind, and it grinded 2 times, which I can't believe it's never done it before. So hopefully this does the trick. I'm gonna let that thing sit in there for a couple of minutes. Then I'm gonna drain it out. It's only got half a quart, not even half a quart of manual transmission fluid in there. But I'm gonna let it sit in there a little bit, mix a little bit, and then let it drain it out. I will be changing out the fluids again, because I believe you're supposed to change it 3 times, or you're supposed to like fill and drain like 3 times to get about 98% new fluids in to make sure that it gets like at least 98% or something like that new fluids. So probably like the next oil change, I will change it again, and then oil change after that, I'll change it one more time just to make sure I get all that royal purple out. I mean, I'm not a big fan of royal purple transmission fluid for the Integra. For this Integra. All right, y'all. So it's been a couple minutes. So the crush washer here, you're supposed to use a new one every time you change it out. But what I normally do is if I don't have one handy, I'll just flip the washer. This is just what I do. I'm not telling you how to do stuff, just showing how I do it. So it's been a couple minutes. We're gonna go ahead and pump the rest of the fluids in there. I'm not gonna record it just because I don't have. It's a little bit hard to do it by myself. So I'll show you once it's done. All right, guys, I got it all done. I used all 3 of this quarts. For whatever reason, it started acting like it was full, but I know it wasn't full because I only pumped a quart and a half in it. I believe it takes 2.1 quarts. So I just went ahead and pumped it, readjusted the tubing in there. Just went ahead and pumped it, and it took all the quarts I had there before it started dripping out of the fill hole. Once it started dripping out of the fill hole, you know that it's full. You just got to make sure the car's level. That's all. So hopefully the car is leveled. Try my best with what I got. We're also going to change out the oil filter because I'm running Valvoline Restore and Protect. According to the internet, you want to change the intervals at 800, 1200, and then the final 3000. So that's what I'm doing. This will be the second. This is going on the second oil change. So we got 2 more to go. So another 6 more thousands. And by then, according to Valvoline, the car should be back to almost completely new condition. So hopefully it'll stop some oil burning too. I'm also going to add some AT205. I think that's what it called, reseal. Trying to get the valve stem gaskets, valve stem seals. Trying to see if I can get them reconditioned so they start sealing again. I believe they are pretty hard and brittle now, and some oil is leaking through there. So yep, I'm gonna change out the oil filter. I won't show that because everybody pretty much knows how that's done. But yep, this is it. And I was comparing the Honda manual transmission fluid, like the viscosity, the thickness or thinness. It's relatively the same as the Royal Purple, but we'll see if this does anything. Hopefully it does, and like I said, next oil change, I'll be changing this out anyways again. Try to get a all 100% Honda manual transmission fluid in there. All right, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.